I don't remember asking you a goddamn thing.
Why can't we remember a goddamn thing from last night? Because we obviously had a great fucking time.
Okay, now let's have our clean opening.
Clean opening. Yes, this is clean.
All right.
Welcome to That Damn Thing, Episode 6, the search for Episode 5. And I'm Jason.
I'm Chris.
Yay!
We did
one.
We did an official opening.
It's taken 6 weeks to get that.
Sort of.
Once again, no editing.
No editing.
I can edit. I choose not to. It's far more entertaining that way.
Well, episode 4 could have used some editing.
Oh, it did. Just not the ones you wanted.
No,
I added.
Yes, you added to make it more raw and more uncomfortable.
I have no idea what you're talking about. Episode 4 is now the lost episode. From here forward, it shall always be known as the lost episode.
Unless you were one of the few people to find it on YouTube.
It will go into the vault. Episode 4 is going into the vault. I'm taking it offline. Oh, God.
That will be an inside joke forever.
Someday, years from now, when we're famous and don't want people to hear it, it's going to find its way out.
How the hell are we going to be famous?
We're doing a podcast.
Oh, my mistake. We're doing a podcast like thousands of other people.
Yeah, but we're entertaining, unlike most of those thousands of others of people. I think we're entertaining.
I think we're entertaining, too.
Yes.
Yeah, that's why we're doing this, and that's why we talk.
We talk because we like to listen to the sound of our own voice.
We are entertained by ourselves. That is why we're doing this.
Yes.
Because we think we're hilarious.
As long as we do. That's the most important thing.
Exactly. I mean, my favorite podcast to listen to is That Damn Thing.
Yes. Above everything else.
It's like when we finish recording an episode, you'll transfer it over to my iPad, and I'll listen to it on the way home, and I'll be laughing at our own jokes. I'll be like, I remember that. That was funny. It's still funny.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm a clever guy. I'm entertained. I find myself entertaining.
Sometimes I amaze even myself. Oh, God. Oh, that's fantastic. So, yeah, last week we didn't do a show because we were sick and Snowmageddon happened.
Yeah.
It's not quite Snowpocalypse. Snowpocalypse was a couple of years ago.
Yeah, that sucked.
This one was Snowmageddon.
Yeah, Snowpocalypse was when my snowblower died on me.
Snowpocalypse, that was when I couldn't get out of my house. I tell you that.
Yeah, it was all drifted out.
I had to take the window out of my back door and just kind of roll myself down. I got like a kitchen tear and climbed out the window and just kind of rolled down the driveway. All right, well, I made it outside.
All right, just speaking of rolling.
Speaking of rolling.
In my bedroom.
I don't understand.
No, in my bedroom, the bed is oriented in such a way that my wife's side of the bed is towards the door.
Okay.
And my side of the bed is away from it, and I have to walk around the bed to get to my side. All right? But if I need to get to my side of the bed, and my wife's not laying in bed, there's only one appropriate method to get to my side of the bed. And despite the fact that I'm just about 36 years old, I combat roll over the bed to get to my side. Am I the only person that does that or still has that mentality? Because I have a hard time picturing my father at 35 years old combat rolling over his bed.
Well, see, that's the thing, because he was 35 years old. He probably did.
I know, but I was 6.
Yeah, exactly. Well, see, I'm opposite of you, though, because I lay on that side of the bed by the door. Mm. So I do that. I combat roll, too. It's just onto the floor pretty much to get out of bed. That's how I get out of bed. I roll myself, like, I hope my feet hit the ground first, and they usually do, and I stand up, kind of. But
mine is, though, it's the somersault like ninja roll kind of thing. It's not the log roll.
I'm not that athletic at any point of the day, much less the moment I wake up. There's no athleticism going on. I kind of like fall out of the bed, get up and stumble my way to the phone. I have to keep my alarm on the other side of the room, otherwise I'll never get up. I'll just turn it. I do that all the time anyways. That's become a habit of mine. I get up, walk across the room, reset my alarm, lay back down, never realizing what's happened.
Really?
I do that almost daily, in my sleep. And I use my iPhone for my alarm.
I use my phone for my alarm as well. My alarm is set to go off at 10 after 6. I hit the snooze at least 4 times.
I have I don't like the snooze. I have pre-programmed. I have like 100 times in my alarm. It's like 6, 6:04, 6:10, 6:15. Like, it's like 5:30, 6, 6:05, 6:10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 50, 7, 7:04, 7:10, 7:16, 7:20, 7:37, 7:50, 8:05.
Your wife must hate you.
And I'll just turn a bunch of them on. And then get up and turn them off. Like, I hate waking up at 6. I like waking up at 6:05.
I'm at 6:10.
I don't like waking up right on the dot.
6 o'clock is too goddamn early.
But
6:10?
Yeah, exactly.
It's a little more acceptable.
6:05 is even more acceptable. But that's from an old habit of my alarm clocks. The regular alarm clocks, I would always roll over. Like, if I wanted to get up at 6, I'd put it to 6:01. Because, like, one time, I didn't roll it over all the way, and it was still at 59. So you set the hours first to 6, and the 59, I didn't roll it all the way over to the 0, so it got stuck at 6. So my alarm never went off. Because it was set for 6:59, and that's 6 o'clock. So I permanently set all my alarms to 1 minute after. So it's 6:01.
That bites you once.
Yeah, once when I was like 10. And that was it. That was it for me. My whole life has changed by that one moment in my childhood. Oh, God. What the fuck is that? Anyway.
That is a great comment for an audio podcast.
Looking at something going, what the fuck is that? Oh, God. So anyways, how was your day, week?
Yeah.
Forever.
It was another week.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
earlier this week,
is this your story?
This is my story.
It's the story that Chris has brought for the episode.
Yeah. So
all right.
I was at work, and I got a new computer, so I was like cleaning up the keyboard of the old one, so it's going to get repurposed to someone else. So I'm cleaning it off and stuff, and I've been using just some general cleanser that we have, some disinfectant wipes.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm done. Fine, I go.
Keep telling me. I'm logging into Reddit, and my username I typed Reddit. It's not the username. Anyway.
And so I'm done. I go to hand the computer back to IT, and I go into the kitchen, and I wash my hands. Okay. Soap and water, whole ball of wax.
Okay.
And then, and I'm like, okay, I go stop and use the bathroom, and I go sit back to my desk. Suddenly there's a burning sensation on my scrotum.
Okay. No, this is so funny, just so you're aware. All right.
I'm like,
why are my balls on fire?
No, they're not on fire.
Well, but there's a warmth that you're not used to.
There's a discomfort.
What? Okay.
So all I can figure is when I went to use the bathroom, while handling my junk, my hand brushes up against my scrotum, and it's in a specific spot that it's burning.
Yeah.
And my only realization is that some of the cleanser that was on my hand didn't get fully washed off.
What the fuck were you cleaning your keyboard with?
I don't know, whatever kind of bleachy cleanser and disinfectant stripes over the counter stuff. It's kind of like that all day because.
You didn't go wash it off quick?
What am I going to go saddle up to the sink in the public bathroom?
Okay, we'll get some white paper towels, right? Throw some soap on that shit. And go in there's got to be a different solo bathroom somewhere.
But, I mean, it was mildly annoying, but it wasn't like painful. So I get home that night, and I tell my wife what happened. My wife is educated in science and chemistry, so her response is, "You bleached your balls. You should go wash them."
Oh my god. That's fantastic. That's it. That show's over. We have now peaked for the week, and it's all downhill from here.
So yes. So when asking how my week went, I bleached my balls.
That's outstanding. I did not do anything that awful.
All right, come on, recover. All right, that is my story. Now, segue.
Segue into bleached balls.
No, we're segueing away from bleached balls.
You don't segue away. Segueing is you're segueing into something that's related. I have nothing related.
What is related to bleached
I know that's
balls?
what I'm saying. It can't be a segue. And now for something completely different.
Full stop, smash cut.
Yeah, exactly. Fucking Christ.
Of course, you don't want smash cut anywhere near your balls.
So last episode was poor taste. Now this week's all about balls. That's it. That's the title of this episode.
No, we already have the title.
Oh, that's right.
We
I
already
forgot.
have the title. Search for episode 5.
Subtitle: Balls. Episode 6. The search for episode 5.
There we go.
Balls.
There we go. There's a T-shirt.
Balls.
I bleached my
I
balls.
bleached my balls.
But it's got to have like pictures of like beach balls and stuff.
Oh god. Yeah, that's our T-shirt.
I bleached my balls.
Coming soon to our Kickstarter. Spend $100. Get your very own That Damn Thing. Bleached balls. They won't be beach balls. They'll be bleach balls.
All right, bleached
Yeah,
balls, but
yes,
it'll
bleach.
show beach balls.
they're gonna be all white.
Yeah,
Like a bottle of bleach next to them.
it's just faded colors.
Yes, that's it. The That Damn Thing bleached balls T-shirt.
You heard it here, folks.
Oh God, that's
Go
awesome.
to Kickstarter.com and look for That Damn Thing,
Thing.
and please contribute.
Yes, please, for the love of God. Because wouldn't you want to hear about bleached balls from a better quality sounding microphone? Because that's our goal.
What gets me about the whole situation, though, is I washed my hands with soap and water, and yet I still bleached my balls.
Clearly, you didn't wash your hands well enough.
Apparently, I don't know.
Well,
I took the appropriate steps to remove any residual cleanser.
As you wash
from
your
my
hands for the proper 30 seconds, you're supposed to wash your hands while singing Happy Birthday, I think, to yourself.
Well, you can't.
Have you ever seen that?
Well, you can't do that. To have a Happy Birthday's copyrighted song.
In your head.
Oh.
Have you ever seen those signs though?
I've heard that before. Yeah.
I've legitimately seen a sign somewhere. I want to say it was when I worked in one of the hospitals.
Well, that's kind of important there.
Cleanliness.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways. Well, that's fantastic. You bleached your balls. I'm proud of you. At least they're clean.
They are clean. Well, at least one of them is. It wasn't like the full scrotum grab that was going on.
That's not how you pee. You don't hold on.
That is not my technique for urination. I do not cradle both of my boys.
My balls are so large I gotta hold them up while I'm taking a leak. They just fall all over the place. Oh my god.
All right. I was at Arlington National Cemetery.
What the fuck? Speaking of balls,
No.
Arlington National Cemetery. How is it?
This is segue.
This is not a
All right.
segue.
This is a segue. Let me finish.
Okay.
So I was at Arlington National Cemetery, and hey, guess what? I had to pee. I go,
All right.
I go saddle up to the urinal.
You saddle up to a lot of things.
Apparently.
You're like Riker, who mounts all the chairs he sits in.
And while I'm there, doing my thing, guy comes up to the urinal next to me.
Yeah.
Okay, and these are the ones, no dividers.
Yep.
It's know, so your peripheral vision is everywhere. But like most man laws,
No meat gazing.
Eyes on the road.
Yep.
Eyes straight ahead.
No meat gazing.
I can't help but notice out of the corner of my eye that the guy saddles up the urinal, and to get his junk out, he lifts up his his shorts, and
he goes out the bottom of the shorts.
He went out the bottom of his shorts.
Was he wearing really short shorts?
No, they were like cargo shorts.
What kind of guy is he? Old guy?
Old guy.
All right.
So now it's like, all right.
Old guys have no shame. So.
Well, I mean, not that old, like 50s kind of thing.
Yeah,
but he's not like, the 70-year-old guy at the
I
gym.
I cannot picture my dad doing that.
No, but it's like, and I'm just like,
56.
It's like, holy crap! I've never heard of that technique. So one of two things: it's either he has, some
he's
kind of
free balling it.
If he's free balling it, I mean that's good for him. But it's like that would be weird. I don't know what's going on, but that was
that's a lot of work.
It would be a lot of work.
I don't know. All right, you just want to look at him and go, why?
It's either he has like some
what kind of pants, what kind of shorts does he wear? Like
cargo shorts,
cargo
like khaki cargo shorts.
So he had a zipper.
Yeah,
maybe his zipper was broken.
I don't know. The only thing is, it's like it's either the good for you, sir, or
congratulations. That is an acceptable. That is easier than the other way.
It's
because
either
it's closer to the bottom than it is the top.
Correct. It's either good for you, sir. Genetics was in your favor, or he has like a catheter or something, and he's
maybe he's training his catheter back.
It's one or the other. But either way, it was like I've never seen that before. So.
Nope. No, that's, all right, cool.
So, that is my urination and junk handling, stories for the day.
I think that's good.
Are you prepared to move on to a different topic?
Completely.
Because I could segue into something else.
No, I'm done with you. So this is on a completely 100% unrelated note. So, as you're aware, we've not talked about it on the show before, and I'm sure maybe someday if anyone listens to this, they'll be familiar with the card game Cards Against Humanity. You're familiar with that game.
I'm familiar with it. While having never played it, I am familiar with it.
We should play that. That would be a fantastic podcast session to record us playing Cards Against Humanity if we can get. You got to have at least like 4 people, 5 or 6.
So we need a game to help us be politically incorrect and wrong.
We can be politically incorrect and wrong. Cards Against Humanity is a whole nother fucking level.
It's just awful.
Holocaust jokes are the name of the game.
Gotcha.
But there is nothing sacred when you play Cards Against Humanity. So last year and this year they've done a special Christmas promotion where you pay them like X number of dollars. I think both years it was $15, and they send a bunch of gifts. You have no idea what the hell you're going to get. It's a complete surprise. Last year it was 12 days of holiday bullshit. This year it was the 10 days or whatever of Kwanzaa. It ended up being 11. Go figure. 10 days or whatever of Kwanzaa. So they send out a bunch of little things, and as part of it this year and last year, I got cards with my own name on them, which is really cool. So now I have my name as one of the cards.
So Jason can be part of the Holocaust.
Yes, exactly.
Gotcha.
It's possible. It's in there. This year it was my name as it was a longer card. I don't remember if it was part of it, but and then you get little packs of the cards specific to the holiday set, and you get some other random stuff from other people they know, like comics, and usually it's some other like upstart game that's probably going to have a Kickstarter or something. But the last present this year, and the key to the puzzle, because this year and last year there was also a puzzle that was part of it, and the puzzle is usually extremely hard. And it takes like a group, like the whole community, and usually there's a subreddit called Holiday Bullshit that was created last year and this year to solve these puzzles. this year the puzzle was tied in with this last gift. And the last gift came, it was a couple weeks ago now, and this is quite possibly the most interesting gift I've received
ever, like in your whole life.
Yeah, ever, pretty much. Not to say the best gift. It's not define best. It's not the most valuable gift I've ever received. Mm-hmm. It is probably the best and most interesting gifts go. And I'm just going to read the letter. It's not terribly long, but this is the most ridiculous thing. It said, "Dear 10 Days or whatever Kwanzaa recipient, a couple of years ago, we made a joke that with the money we donated to the Wikimedia Foundation, we could have bought a small private island. And now let me insert quick. The money, they make no money from these holiday promotions. They donate all of it.
Okay.
So that this year, that gave us an idea to actually buy a small private island.
Of course.
So
why wouldn't you?
So they set out, and they said, this year we used your money to purchase a wooded, uninhabited, 6-acre private island in St. George Lake, Maine. We bought this island for 2 reasons. 1, because it was funny, and 2, so we could give you a small piece of it. Also, actually, 3, we're preserving a pristine bit of American wilderness. On the other side of this cover letter, you will find a legal contract granting you a license to 1 square foot of our private island, which we've named Hawaii 2. This square foot of land is yours to do with what you want as long as you don't destroy it or break any laws in it. We've enclosed a small flag you can plant to mark your territory. The little flag is plastic, and it looks kind of like a... It will weather, whatever you put on it. It's like a durable little flag, and you can put your name and date on it. And they actually made a little logo. It's like a lobster holding a surfboard and a anchor with a pineapple in it and a snowman on an island. It's the logo for Hawaii too.
Spectacular.
Yes, it is fantastic. We've also included a map of the island. It is a hand-drawn, like old-school, old-timey map. We'll take care of taxes and legal stuff. There's nothing you need to do to maintain your land. It's yours to use. Please enjoy. Cards Against Humanity. So now the flip side of this is a legit legally binding contract. And a little bit of it here reads, Hawaii 2 LLC is a Delaware limited liability company hereby grants to me, Jason, and my last name, whose mailing address is, my house here, the following rights, quote-unquote, license as they pertain to Hawaii 2, our private island located in St. George Lake, Maine, and described in a deed recorded in the Waldo County Registry of Deeds in Book 3912, page 220, under the terms and conditions below. We do hereby grant you an exclusive license to 1 square foot of our private island centered at these really long geographical coordinates. I may, at my own cost, do anything within my 1 square foot of land that does not violate federal, state, local law. I may name it. I may use it for non-commercial, non-motorized recreational activities. I may tell people at parties I own part of a private island. If you hurt a tree on the private island, we will curse your family for 1,000 generations. The following rules must be reserved at all times. Basically remove all trash, treat all the trees and vegetation cannot be harmed, blah, 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 a lot of other legalese. My rights under this license are personal to me, cannot be assigned or transferred to any third party. I agree to release Hawaii 2 LLC from any claims of damages or that I may sustain in connection with or arising out of my use of our private island. And it's a legit legal document granting me...
So you own land.
In Maine.
In Maine.
On an island.
On an island.
Yes.
1 square foot.
Yep, technically 1 square foot. Realistically, ownership of a private island in Maine.
What are you going to do with your land?
If I ever get there, I will plant my flag on it.
I know what you need to do.
What do I need to do?
You need to get a metal gas can and place it in your 1 square foot.
I don't know if that'll be acceptable. Because I don't think they'll appreciate a metal gas can being left on their pristine part of wilderness.
It'll last for a while.
No, I don't want to give up my 1 square foot in private island.
It doesn't have to be filled with anything.
I don't think a metal gas can is a good idea.
Why not?
Because I want to find my 1 square foot. I want to stake it out. I want to fence it.
You need to put a 6-foot fence around.
A 6 foot tall fence. It would be this big,
I know.
A 6 foot tall, 1 square foot fence.
With a big keep out sign. Or no, you need a sign that says "Stay off my lawn."
Get off my lawn. Keep off grass.
Done. That is it. That is your solution.
Yes. So I've had that for a little while, but yeah, I wanted to go over that because that is outstanding. Because that adds to my resume of awesome.
That is fantastic.
It is fantastic.
That is a great story. The next party you are at,
yes,
you can tell people you own land.
I own a small
Or
private
the next
island.
time you're on a podcast.
Yes, the next time, which is this time.
Oh, hey, that's pretty coincidental.
I know it is. Is it? Every time I'm on the podcast, I'm going to introduce myself
As landowner.
Landowner. I'm going to go through my whole spiel of all things. 2-time Guinness World Record holder. Yes, I'm pointing at the podcast because I'm pointing at the laptop. I'm turning into you.
Uh-huh.
Award-winning actress.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. One of these days we'll explain those things.
Yeah, published hand model.
Today is not the day. Published hand model.
I am also a published hand model.
That's right. We both are.
Nope.
Yes, we're both published hand. See, you can start your resume now too.
Mm-hmm.
You're a published hand model.
I am.
I am that. I own a small private island in Maine. Yeah. I'm the most interesting man on this podcast.
I'm a world traveler. I have traveled in this world.
I am also a world traveler. I have been outside the United States.
I have not, but I'm still a world traveler. It is still this world.
I have been to a foreign land.
So I have not. Closest I've been to is Texas, but that doesn't count because I never left the airport.
That doesn't count. See, yeah. At least you're a believer in that theory. You are not in another state unless you leave the airport.
Correct.
Yes.
The airport is kind of like an embassy.
It's neutral ground.
Yes.
Airport is neutral ground.
Yeah.
If you never leave the airport, you are never in that state.
That is correct. Or country. Or
country.
Wherever
or
you may happen to be.
I don't know about country. Country, I think I might excuse country from that. If you're traveling to a foreign country,
I don't know. It's the same thing. It's the same principle. It's a stopover. You've never really been in the country. You've never had to exchange currency or ask someone where the baño is. You know?
What the fuck is a baño?
Wait. I don't know. Wait, what the hell's a bathroom in Spanish?
I don't speak Spanish.
I don't either.
I speak German.
Please write in or comment on the episode.
Please let us know what the Spanish word for bath. We can also just look it up on our
I think it's
iPad.
El Baño.
El Baño? I don't know. I know in German in German and in most foreign languages, you got to be careful because you ask for the bathroom. That's a separate thing. You know that, right?
Hang on, no, I'm busy. I'm busy educating myself.
Spanish for bathroom.
Baño.
Baño, yeah.
Aha!
Cuarto de baño.
Yep.
All right. So no, where is the bathroom? So it's room that has the bathtub. You want to know where a toilet is? It's different, but it's like that in German. You didn't know this? Okay.
I have studied both Spanish and German during my educational days. I remember very little of it, and I was awful at it. I am barely capable at English.
I took German for 4 years through high school, and from 8th grade through high school, and I never took German 5, which would have been my senior year, because German 5 was like the one you had to go to Germany and shit. Didn't have money for that, so I didn't do it. That would have been lame to be like the fucking only kid who didn't actually get to go on the trip to Germany. So I'm still bitter about that.
That's why I never got the Arrow of Light in Cub Scouts, because you had to go on like the overnight winter camping trip.
Oh, really?
Yeah, fuck that.
So no, I remember a little bit from German, not a ton, but I do remember that there's a difference. In German, if you ask where the bathroom is, you voice die Badenzimmer. Badenzimmer would be wo ist die, where is the Badenzimmer, Badenzimmer. That's bathroom.
Mm.
They're asking where the room with a bathtub is.
Aha.
They're not necessarily the same thing. They don't always put a toilet in the room where the bathtub is. If you're asking for the toilet, wo ist die Toilette?
Ah.
That's where's the toilet. That is the standard. You want to know where the toilet is because you got to go to the bathroom because you want to go pee, you got to ask for a toilet. Apparently, according to what I'm reading on here, Spanish is the same way. And I think that's pretty typical in a lot of foreign languages. Because English is the most difficult language on earth to learn because we're just fucked up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Especially American English is like the most complicated language.
Which is the only English.
It's not the King's English.
There is no king.
There will be.
But there's...
Fine, the Queen's English.
Well, but
it's still referred to as the King's English.
Ah.
Fine, the Queen's English. There is a Queen. Elizabeth.
Yes.
The second.
Of Maine.
No, actually, of Windsor.
Of Windsor. Like,
that one's always got me. Did you know that they don't have last names?
I think I did know that.
Yeah, it's a royal thing. The family name is Windsor, but they don't have last names. She's not like Elizabeth Windsor. She's Elizabeth.
She's just Lizzie.
Yeah, it's Queen Elizabeth.
Queen
Queen Elizabeth, but she's part of the Windsor family. And that's how they all are. So that's when people who aren't of royal blood marry in, drop their names. Like Kate Middleton. She's now Duchess Kate of...
someplace.
I can't remember
York?
what.
No,
that was... Sarah Ferguson was Duchess of York. But until when she got divorced, she went back to being just Sarah Ferguson, and she get to regained her. Can
you do that, name. Or once you've vacated your name, can somebody else pick it up?
I don't know.
You know? Is that like a URL address? You know,
no, I doubt it. Once again, here we are. I'm on British royalty naming conventions. After several weeks ago, we were learning all about countries of the British, of Great Britain and their police law enforcement rankings. Oh, God. Anyways, but no, yeah. I just want to be a one-name person. That'd be great. It'd just be Jason. King Jason.
The Jason.
The Jason.
The Jason.
It'd be the Jason. There's way too many Jasons in this world. So anyways, well, that was my story. It didn't involve bleaching my balls or anything.
I gotta tell you, though, my story was better.
Yeah, it was better.
My story was much better.
My story...
I may not own land.
You may not own land on a private island in a different state, but you have clean balls.
That is true. Squeaky clean.
That's alarming.
Problem when I walk.
They squeak. It's like you're wearing corduroys.
That's why I can't wear skinny jeans.
You can't wear skinny jeans because I would punch you if you wear skinny jeans. Fucking James and his 3/4 pants bullshit.
The mythical James.
The mythical James. Someday we'll get that motherfucker. Like I said, we're gonna have to record it outside of normal.
We're probably gonna have to kidnap him in order to actually do this.
Exactly. Oh God.
We're all gonna dedicate a single day to take off of work.
Tell our bosses we need to take off this afternoon. You can't know why.
We'll coordinate everything.
We'll handle everything. Oh God. So, anyways, anything interesting this week?
No, we've covered my prepared comments. Everything else now is just off the cuff.
Now we're flying by the seat of our pants.
That is correct.
So I saw this thing this morning, and I don't know if you've seen this at all. There's an article on Reddit called "My Gravity Lawsuit: Who It Affects or How It Affects Every Writer Who Sells to Hollywood."
I read that last week.
Did you?
I saw that.
Oh my God.
That person got screwed over.
Yeah,
that's a big deal.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah. Well, essentially what it was is there was an author, and correct me if I'm wrong. I think you read this earlier, more recently than I did, who wrote a book called Gravity.
Yep.
And it was essentially the same story as the movie.
Pretty close. Yeah.
And back in like 2002 or 1999, she sold the rights to New Line Cinema.
Yep.
All right, and they were developing the movie. She even went back to rewrite like the third act.
Yeah, she rewrote the third act, including the satellite debris destroying the station.
And so between then and now, Warner Brothers bought New Line.
Correct, through a basically a hostile takeover almost.
Okay.
Yeah, they talk about here was it was rumored to be like a brutal takeover.
Really?
Like it wasn't like a nice acquisition.
Ugh.
But no, her book was a female medical doctor / astronaut stranded aboard the ISS after the rest of her crew was killed in a series of accidents. A biological hazard traps her aboard the ISS in quarantine, unable to return to Earth. While it was in development, she rewrote the third act of the script with scenes of satellite debris destroying the ISS. The lone surviving female astronaut was then adrift in her spacesuit. Now, the rest of this, this is where it gets interesting. Sometime around 2008, 2009, Alfonso Cuarón, the guy who directed Gravity, wrote his original screenplay, Gravity, about a female astronaut who's the sole survivor after her colleagues are killed by satellite debris destroying their spacecraft. She's left adrift in her spacesuit, later stranded aboard the ISS. I noted the similarities, but had no evidence of any connection between Cuarón and my project. Without proof, I could not publicly accuse him of theft, so when asked about the similarities by fans and reporters, I told them it just could be coincidental. February 2014, my literary agent was informed Alfonso Cuarón was actually attached to my project back in 2000. Now, the similarities between my book and Cuarón's movie could no longer be dismissed as coincidence. I sought legal help. We filed a breach of contract complaint that April. Please note, this is not a case of copyright infringement. Warner Brothers, through its ownership of New Line, also controls the film rights to my book. They had every right to make the movie, but they claim they have no obligation to honor my contract with New Line. So basically, they're going to make the movie, but this lady who wrote this book, is not going to make any money off it.
Right, because they consider her contract
null and void
because she did the contract
with New Line, and they bought New Line.
Yeah.
This is why every writer who sells to Hollywood should be alarmed, she writes. It means any writer who sold film rights to New Line Productions can have those rights freely exploited by its parent company, Warner Brothers. The original contract you signed with New Line will not be honored. Warner Brothers can make a movie based on your book, but you will get no credit even though your contract called for it. It means any parent company who acquires a studio and also acquires the studio's intellectual properties can exploit those properties without having to acknowledge or compensate the original authors. Right now, because it started off with here, yesterday, the court granted Warner Brothers' motion to dismiss my lawsuit against them. While Warner Brothers crows victory, the judge has in fact left the door open for me to pursue my claim, allowing my legal team 20 days to revise their complaint and address the single issue of concern, the corporate relationship between Warner Brothers and New Line. And
really, the judge didn't dismiss it. He just kind of told them, it's like, hey, you got to, like, reword this.
Yeah, well, he didn't dismiss it. He told them that they need to rework their complaint.
Right.
Yeah. As here, my attorney issued the following statement. The court issued a long, detailed, very thoughtful opinion on which it noted we need to include more facts in our pleading relative to the relationship between Warner Brothers and New Line. That was the only issue for the court on motion. This happens quite often. We need to go ahead and file an amended complaint which corrects the technical deficiencies. Mm-hmm. Holy crap.
Yep. That's a big deal.
No shit. I mean, that's going to cause problems with
everything.
Anything, and anybody ever trying to adapt a book.
Yeah. Anything. I mean, you look at the whole, you even go back and recently with the Harry Potter series and Twilight and 50 Shades of Grey and whatever. Yep. All that stuff is going to become a lot harder to do if somehow this becomes the norm in Hollywood.
Yeah,
no author's going to do this.
Yeah, that's going to cause books adapted into movies to be a much more, lesser seen thing. And if it does happen, because a lot of authors, the film rights get sold. I mean, there's thousands of books that have film rights sold that have
Yeah.
never made it in movies yet.
Correct.
You know.
Or
No.
or even just like little known books.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, where
know.
the author is not making tons of money off of it.
Yeah,
and
but
they'll
they
go,
sold
"Oh,
the
I
film rights for $20,000 just to make something, you know.
should-" Right, so they'll
And
get
now
something.
the studio could say, go ahead and make it without having to compensate. I'm sure there's plenty of studios out there going, hey, wait a minute. We can do that? We can make that movie without having to pay the... You know, because they acquired the film rights for $25,000, but part of that was the author will then get, you know, producer's credits and 5% of the net profit of the movie, and, you know, so on and so forth. Because that's kind of what this lady, that was her contract.
Right.
We don't have to pay that.
Well,
fuck
I
it.
mean, right now, if this is a thing that works, and I'm all these studios, we're just going to start up little production companies. You're going to sign with that production company, and then we'll gobble you up.
Yep.
You know, we'll legally jump through the right hoops in order to do that.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and then that just becomes
Just to screw you.
that just becomes a template to follow.
Ugh.
And,
Yeah.
and if you think that Hollywood wouldn't do that, you're
Oh.
wrong.
Yeah, no shit.
And why? Because money.
Yeah, that's the reason for a lot of anything. You know why? Because money.
Mhm.
Exactly. Oh God. So, anyways, now we've approached a lull in our
A little
podcast.
bit of a lull. This is where we're going to be doing a little editing.
Yes, this will be an edited podcast.
So, did you see the trailer for The Gunman,
I don't even
starring
No.
Sean Penn?
know nothing about it, much less the fact that there was a trailer.
He plays like this long-term like CIA operative, pretty
Sure.
much like an assassin kind of guy. It's done by the same guy who did Taken.
Okay.
So it's pretty much Taken with Sean Penn,
Okay.
but there's like no kidnapping involved. It's
Okay.
pretty much, I think from what I remember, it's all of a sudden the CIA is going to start clearing house on some of these old guys.
Okay.
So he's, gets to go on a shooting rampage, to try to, live through this stuff. But
Yeah.
it looked pretty cool. And I realized I can't remember the last thing Sean Penn did.
Well, there's that movie Milk.
Right. Didn't he win an Oscar for that?
Yeah, because he as Harvey Milk.
But even that was like
That's
5 years ago.
Yeah, I know. Well, you know why? Because he's been doing all the charity crap down in Haiti, I think.
Really?
Yeah. I want to say, pretty sure it was Haiti?
Mm.
Haiti or Cuba? One of those two places.
Fucking Milk was in 2008.
Yeah.
And then, he's the gunman. He was in The Secret Life of Walter Mitty, which I didn't see. He was in
No.
Gangster Squad. This Must Be the Place, The Tree of Life, Fair Game. So, lots of stuff I hadn't heard of
Yeah.
or seen. But it was like, it was kind of nice because he came back. It's like, oh, it's Sean Penn. But he doesn't kind of look like Sean Penn because I haven't seen him in a while.
Yeah.
It's like you kind of get a fresh look.
Yeah,
at him.
he's been away for a while, not doing anything relatively important. I mean, film wise,
Right,
Yeah.
but it looks promising. It's a different kind of role
yeah.
for him as well.
What?
Did Liam Neeson start a new trend? All of a sudden, you get up there in age and you become an action star.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Liam Neeson action star is prompting some of these older guys to start. Well, Kevin Costner did it. 3 Days to Kill.
Yeah,
and-
I saw that. It
Yeah.
was okay,
yeah.
but same idea.
Yeah. Speaking of movies like that, I watched most of. It was late last night. I fell asleep. I watched most of John Wick last night.
Oh, how was it?
It was cool.
Yeah.
I gotta say, I want to finish watching it. I can't imagine it's going to be much more different than the first half that I watched.
Mm-hmm.
But he's like, they established this cool world where he's some sort of like gun for hire, pretty
Mm-hmm.
much, who is out of the game.
Gotcha.
And his wife. This is the best part. They don't explain everything.
Okay.
You just see little bits. His wife is sick. Gets sick. But when the movie starts, his wife is dead.
Okay.
Throughout the first few scenes, whatever, you find out she just died. Like, several days before. Mm-hmm. She had gotten, I don't know if she got sick out of nowhere, some cancer or something, but you see her, she dies, she's in the hospital and she dies.
Okay.
He is like I said, he's out of the game. He lives in like this amazing fucking $1 million mansion, all glass fucking house. And, he encounters some fucking, Russian dudes at a gas station. And he's driving like a really like mint condition, like 69 Mustang Boss or whatever.
Talk about the puppy.
And, well, I'm not even there yet. But so he encounters these Russians and they want to like, they offer to buy his car from him and he tells you, not for sale, whatever. He gets home. And when he gets home, he gets a delivery at the door. And delivery man, well, no, he had the puppy already before he left, but he gets, I forgot the order that happened. I just watched it last night and I forgot already. But he gets a puppy delivered. Turns out the puppy was a present from his wife. She had gotten it. She knew she was going to die. Mm-hmm. She wanted to get him a companion, whatever. It was a wonderful thing. So he had the puppy with him in the car. So he gets home, goes to sleep. Middle of the night, puppy's up, barking, whatever. He kind of wakes up. The Russian dudes are back. They're like in his house. They followed him home. They beat the shit out of him. One of them is the actor's Alfie Allen, who plays Theon Greyjoy in Game of Thrones.
Oh, okay.
Kills the fucking dog. Kills the puppy. They're all wearing like masks, but they're speaking Russian. Like you have an idea that he might know who they are, anyways, because. But he takes the mask off and he knocks him out with like a baseball bat and they steal his car. Okay. This is where it kicks in because at first you have no idea who this guy is. You know he's rich. You know his wife just died. He got a puppy. You don't know anything about him. He's just a guy. He's just a guy. You know. This is where it kicks in because now you see the next scene. The Russian guys are at a chop shop. Okay. High end and fucking John Leguizamo.
Really.
Okay, running the chop shop. I haven't seen John Leguizamo in years.
Fucking Luigi?
Yes. The clown from Spawn.
Yeah.
So he's running the chop shop. They come in and the first thing he says, he goes, "Where'd you guys get that car?" He clearly knows the car, right away. And he doesn't say anything to him. He goes, "Get the car out of my shop." And the kid, Alfie Allen's character, the Russian kid, is like he has no fucking idea so he's like, I got the car. He's like, "Who'd you get it from?" Some guy, whatever. Like Leguizamo's character just punches him in the face, knocks him down, and he's like, "You're gonna be sorry for that, you work for me." And he's like, "No, I work for your father." It's clearly there's a Russian crime family thing going on here. So a few minutes later. He's like, you're going to pay for this, whatever. You think, John Leguizamo's character's fucked, So he calls, and he's in Leguizamo's character is in the back of the room. A few minutes later, the Russian kid's dad calls him. Calls John Leguizamo.
The mob boss.
Yeah, the mob boss. The Russian mob boss calls the chop shop guy owner and goes, "So, I heard you hit my son." And he goes, "Yeah, I hit him." "Why did you tell me why you did that?" "He stole John Wick's car and killed his dog." The mob boss goes, "Oh," and hangs up the phone. That was it.
So in other words, he had a good reason.
He had an absolute good reason. You're like, no, who the fuck is John Wick?
Right.
And so then the next scene you come up, other great, random person you don't see in shit anything. Russian mob boss is there. He's got his henchman, his crony. It's the Mayhem guy.
Oh, really?
So the Mayhem guy is there, and it's great because the mob boss keeps talking in Russian and he keeps going English, and because he can't understand. He's like, "Please, I keep saying English, please," and the mob guy just glares at him like he's and it's funny. So then the kid comes in, and the dad, the mob boss, pours him a drink, and then punches him in the gut.
Oh,
So he
right.
just barfs all over the floor like right away, and he's like, the kid has no idea what he's done.
Mhm.
And they start explaining who he is. Like the dad says, who you did this to, and he's like, no, just some guy. And he's like, John Wick is not some guy. He's like, back in the day, he used to work with us.
Mhm.
Not for us, he said work with us. And so we called him the Boogeyman. And it says like the Russian name for it.
Mhm.
And they said, what do you mean? I'll fucking kill the Boogeyman. And he's like, no, this is the guy you would call to kill the Boogeyman. That's who John Wick is. And he's like, I had him, he was out. And I gave him an impossible mission. At the same time, they keep flip-flopping between scenes of John Wick taking like a sledgehammer to concrete in like his basement.
Okay.
And he's digging up what turns out to be a box, and it's all full of guns and shit. And like he's got like these 300 like gold coins
Okay.
in the other half of the box. And so he's just explaining, it's like, I gave him an impossible mission. Doesn't explain what it is at all. But he completed it. And he got out.
Mhm.
And then his wife died a couple days ago. And then you broke into his house, killed his puppy, and stole his car. He is going to come for you. And you are going to do nothing. And you are going to let him come for you.
Really?
And that's where they fast forward, and you see Keanu Reeves now getting ready and like taking a shower. He gets all suited up in like this $5,000 suit. And then in the next scene, you see the mob boss like begrudgingly tells Mayhem guy, get a team together. And he's like, how many do you have? So it turns out to be like 12 guys come into John Wick's house.
Mhm.
And the coolest footage of filming I've ever seen of like one guy. You always see scenes like one guy who's like a fucking Superman and shooting everybody and taking them out.
Right.
It was the coolest choreography
Like
I've ever seen.
like
for
the
that.
most believable.
Not even believable, just the moves Keanu Reeves is doing. Like this martial art style of shooting people that was just amazing. Like he's hiding under things, he's ducking, and he's constantly moving. He holds his gun like up here, like up by his chest,
Okay.
and like he'll come around the corner with just zero hesitation. I think that's probably the coolest part. He's not firing blindly at anyone. He doesn't miss like once. Every shot is no hesitation, perfectly aimed every time. And he does the coolest shit. So like a guy's coming around the corner, he sees his toe, he shoots him in the foot, so he falls forward and shoots him in the head. And then he grabs that body, spins him around to use him as a shield, and then shoots another guy. He's coming down the stairs, drops to the floor, turns around behind him. Another guy's just bullet right to the fucking head. Another guy's coming down. He shoots him in the leg, so he stumbles down. He's on the ground. He shoots him in the head, picks up, shoots this guy coming out this way. He's not blind shooting anyone. Every shot he's firing is purposeful and masterfully done. Like he's like the greatest like assassin hitman ever, and none of it is silly. None of it is like contrived. It is all like perfectly believable. It's like if there was a martial art for using pistols, he's clearly trained in it.
Gun fu.
Yeah, it's exactly. it's like gun fu. You have to see it. I've never seen anything. I've never seen anything like it before in a movie.
So it is the complete opposite of Arnold Schwarzenegger in Commando.
Yes.
Okay.
He fires, and and he runs out of ammo. Like at one point, it was great. Like he's shooting a guy, he shoots him in the leg, shoots him in the gut, runs out of ammo.
Mm-hmm.
The guy's like standing and stumbling in front of him. He takes the time, ejects the clip from his gun, gets out, puts another clip in, boom, in the head, and then keeps going. Doesn't stop, doesn't do anything else. Doesn't try to. The guy's like, the guy's like dying in front of him. It doesn't do anything else. Just boom, and then it keeps going. And like I said, it is, and he keeps going like this, and he expertly murders like 12 guys, and then the cop shows up. A cop shows up at his door.
Okay.
You see like the police lights, and he goes and he opens the door just a crack just to see who it is, and he clearly recognizes the cop, like
Sure.
he knows him. So he opens the door a little bit more, and he goes, "How's it going, Jimmy?" "Hi, John." Then John's like, "Noise complaint?" Jimmy's like, "Yeah, noise complaint. opens the door a little bit more. You can see a body laying on the floor. Jimmy, the cop, Jimmy goes, "So you working again?" "Nah, I'm just working out some things." You know, and he goes, "All right, have a good night." And the cop leaves. Like, clearly everyone knows who this guy is.
Sure.
So the next scene, you see him go down. He grabs a stack of like those 12 of those coins, and he grabs a stack of 12 of them. He counts them all out, picks up the phone, says, "Yeah, I need to order dinner reservation for 12." And then he hangs up. 2 seconds later, cleaning crew comes to his house. It's this old guy and like 3 or 4 other big dudes.
Sure.
To clean up all the bodies, take all the guns, they take all the bodies, they clean up all the blood, they saran wrap like all the bodies back up. And John Wick pays him in these gold coins, and it's like this older guy, probably like 70.
Who's been doing it for a while.
Who's clearly been doing it for a long time. And you know, he asks him, so am I going to see you again? You know? And John just goes, "Good night." You know? And that's it, and just leaves. Then he goes to, he packs up a bunch of shit, and he goes, there's a hotel.
By the way, before, now that we've gotten a little too far, spoilers.
Yeah, spoilers. I can edit that in. So, nothing this gives away, the story, because I didn't even see the back half of the movie.
Right.
But, so it's just this whole setup for his character. He's like this extreme badass, but they don't tell you anything about who he is. Mm-hmm. He just is, and he goes to this hotel. It's the Centennial. And he books a room, and the hotel is like, it clearly is like a meeting place for all other people like him. Mm-hmm. And he's staying there, and there's a whole bunch of, like, everyone knows who he is. Like, he's been out of the game. Like, I haven't seen you in like 5 years. And he's coming back in and everything. And it's just, that's about as far as I got in the movie, about halfway through.
Wow.
But like I said, you have to see it, because I've never seen anything else like it, the fighting style that he does.
So there's a very good reason why they've already greenlit the sequel.
Yes, exactly. It is not nothing's. He's got no cheesy like one-liners or anything. It's just ass kicking the whole time. And instead of like, like the coolest martial arts stuff where you see guys are doing it, like Jason Bourne. Mm-hmm. Everything he does is so methodical and purposeful with his fighting, but it's all hand to hand,
right? Using
guns,
and not like, was it Chow Yun-fat back in the day?
No,
or was it that him?
Yeah, he did like the Replacement Killers with Mira Sorvino. Yeah. No, it's.
Or he did. He was like like the John Woo movies, like the Double Pistols.
Yep. No, nothing. No.
Double Pistols, doves.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah. John Woo and his doves. No, none of that. None of that silliness. It was total serious, just badass.
Wow.
Yeah, it was completely unexpected. So I see why that movie did so well.
I will. I'm gonna have to keep an eye out for like Netflix to see when that shows up.
Yeah, well, it shouldn't be too long.
I did notice that Horns is now on Netflix.
Yes, it is. You should watch it. I'm so happy I got the Blu-ray like 2 weeks ago.
One.
Yeah, hopefully I can watch the rest of John Wick. Probably tomorrow. Tonight I'm going to see American Sniper finally.
Oh, yeah?
Yes. I'm excited to see that.
It'll be interesting to see what you think of it, because I've heard mixed reviews.
Well, it depends on who you talk to.
Right.
It's not even, it's if you're a big pro-war, pro-military, type of person. Every person like that I've seen think it's like the greatest movie ever. Chris Kyle, he's an American hero and everything, and you get the other direction of people, and that's what you talk about. You get running into people like, well, a lot of the stuff in the movie isn't real, and Chris Kyle is kind of like a psycho, and it's like,
I don't even give a shit about that.
No, but
because that's your political viewpoint on cinema.
But that's all I ever hear about it. It's like this movie is like a political battleground.
Like what I've heard is, shit, what's his face? The actor. Bradley Cooper is great.
Yeah.
He's fantastic. He kind of disappears into the role.
Yep.
He's great, but some of like the direction
in
the movie.
That was the first stuff I heard about.
I mean, it was the stuff that was very very film centric.
Yeah.
Not
everything after that was when the movie first came out. That was all I heard about it. Mm-hmm. But then since the movie's been out, it's become very political. Right. And it's kind of annoying.
And I everyone, you think what you think.
Yeah.
I'm just curious about what it is as a movie.
No, exactly. That's the same thing. I want to see what it is as a movie. I'm sure it'll be cool. I'm excited to watch it.
I mean, it's like I read the book. I read American Sniper.
Yeah.
I mean, 2 years ago or something? Whenever he died. Right around that time.
Is it February of 2013?
Right
about 2 years
right
now.
about 2 years ago. I mean, I read the whole book, and I guess I found it forgettable.
Yeah.
I don't remember. It's like I remember reading the book.
Yeah.
I don't remember
Well,
the story.
I remember the story of him only because he died.
You're right.
I remember that, and I didn't remember it. I didn't remember it. Like when I saw the movie was coming out and they were talking about who it was, I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. It was the guy who got killed. Or
But
whatever.
but it's like the story, his story, didn't resonate with me. I mean, I much more clearly remember the book Marine Sniper about Carlos Hathcock, who's a sniper in Vietnam.
Yeah.
Who at the time was the America's most lethal sniper.
That was the guy who they did the movie Sniper.
It's loosely based on his book.
Yeah.
But I mean, I remember that one much more clearly, and I read that when I was like 13.
Yeah.
So I don't know. There's chaos going on.
No
upstairs.
shit.
That is.
You know what? For everybody listening to the show right now, this is just test recordings off my crappy unidirectional laptop microphone. You can hear children screaming in the background. Yes, I have children. We're recording this in my house. If you would love to fund our Kickstarter, we could get real microphones that you wouldn't hear that on. Yeah. So,
You do not have to hear Jason's 3 boys running around causing chaos.
Yeah, no shit.
See, that does not happen at my house,
no.
Where I have one daughter.
Yes. We could always record this there, but you said there was no quiet place to do this. I thought this would be a quiet place, but only while we're doing this because they scream bloody fucking murder.
I guess I do not have a... You have a very convenient and somewhat dedicated spot down in your basement here in your theater.
Yes.
This is just environment-wise.
Yes.
This is ideal.
Yes.
I do not have such a place.
Yeah, that's true.
In my house.
Well, and once we get our proper audio gear, we won't have the ambient noise problem.
Correct.
So it'll be one of those things where if you're 3 inches away from the microphone, they're barely going to hear you.
Correct.
That's how those things work usually.
Yeah, but you got to be right up on them.
Jesus.
Oh, man.
So anyways, yeah. So hopefully American Sniper's cool. I'm excited. We're going to the Dream Loungers again.
Ooh, those are nice.
Which I saw that now they completed the entire theater as Dream Loungers now.
Where?
At South Shore.
Oh, at South Shore, the whole
theater is Dream Loungers now. Yep.
Really? I thought maybe they were only going to do certain ones.
Whole theater.
That's surprising because that's less seating.
Correct, but
I mean,
as we talked about, they can treat it kind of like a boutique theater.
Yeah.
They've got so many. Marcus has so many theaters. Mm-hmm. They can afford to have less seating at one.
Well, I mean,
because think about it. Of all the theaters, South Shore is the oldest. Of when they started to remodel theaters, South Shore was the first new one, and that was back in the mid-'90s.
Yep.
And since then, all the other theaters have surpassed it.
You're right.
There's no reason to go out of your way to go to South Shore. And even if you do, people go out of the way to go to the Ridge or they go to the Majestic, because that's where the Ultra Screen is, and the Ridge has like the restaurant and stuff.
This is the very geographic-centric portion of the podcast.
Yeah. Well, if you're in and around where we are, because we're in Milwaukee, other podcasts we're listening to.
This is where people tune us off.
Yes, exactly. Milwaukee, fuck that. Milwaukee, Oregon. Oh. But people now go out of their way to go to South Shore. I know this because the last couple movies I've seen, I've gone out of my way to go to South Shore because the Dream Loungers are fucking awesome.
It's convenient to me because that's the one closest to my house.
Yes, exactly. Well, I was looking online last night. I saw the one theater in Sturtevant, I think, the Renaissance or something.
Oh,
it's in Racine, but they have an Ultra Screen there.
Ah.
They have an Ultra Screen DLX. It's got the Dream Loungers in the Ultra Screen.
Really?
Yes. I'm like, I'm gonna have to check that out one of these times.
That is now the go-to.
So, yeah, I don't know if I want to drive all the way to Racine every time,
It's
but
kind of a hike.
yeah. So anyways, well, now hopefully my children stop wailing like fucking banshees. I'm out of thought. Let's see here. So anyways, what the hell?
So, did you watch the Super Bowl?
No.
All right, and so ends our sports segment.
Sports minute for the week. No, fuck the Patriots, and I don't like the Seahawks. Assholes.
That is why you did not see the trailer for The Gunman.
No, I did not. I did watch the halftime show. I saw Katy Perry flying around on The More You Know star.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
But I did see the trailer for Daredevil.
Yes,
The
we did
full trailer for that.
That was good stuff.
That is going to be very, very interesting.
Yeah.
Because this is going to be the opening show.
I can't even do it. That my children are being killed, it sounds like, upstairs.
This is kind of the opening salvo, even more so than like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
For really of how Marvel is going to kind of have this side expanded universe.
Yeah.
You know, where it's part of it, but kind of really not.
Yeah.
You know, it's not going to be tied in as directly as Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is.
Well,
but it's still going to be
it's a different thing because, like, Daredevil, it's going to be just as separate as, like, Guardians of the Galaxy is separate. Where it's taking place in the same universe, but it's still a hero thing, doing, crime fighting, I
mean, yes, it is your superhero story. I mean, while Guardians is not directly tied in to any of the existing Marvel Cinematic Universe, and they have Thanos and all the Infinity Gems, they're going to be tied in at some point.
Yeah, well, it's in the same universe, it's not directly attached.
Right, I mean, and
Daredevil's the same thing.
Right, but
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is positioned like...
It's the bridge.
It's like... They're like... Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is what's supposed to be like... from the mindset of like the viewer, because they're outside of all the superheroes seeing what's going on. So it's kind of like that's where you as the viewer are supposed to relate with like the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. show, because here's these regular people interacting with the superheroes, and then Daredevil is another superhero, but that show looks gritty and bloody and dark, and
it'll be. I'm very much looking forward to it.
Yeah,
because I'm not. Because it looks cool, but you're unsure of it.
Yeah, well, when I saw that whole trailer, I think it's going to be awesome. Mm-hmm. Because totally unsure until you see something. I saw that first trailer, and it just looks cool. Yeah. It looks like Daredevil. It felt like Daredevil.
Well, and it's the beginning of Daredevil. Yeah. Still in the all-black costume.
No, and I like that.
He's not even Daredevil.
Well,
he's Matt Murdock, who's going on and doing.
I like that. The little bit with him walking down the hallway and pulling the mask down over his face completely. Mm-hmm. He's wearing all black, and just the imagery of that he's completely covering his face altogether. Mm-hmm. Not even eye holes,
right?
Because he doesn't need them. He's blind, But and like the red Daredevil costume, he still has eye holes. Because it's a superhero costume, but it was cool seeing it where it just completely covers his face altogether. I'm excited for that. I saw more stuff. I saw the first pictures of Kristen Ritter as Jessica Jones made their way online. Yep. That one, I'm really interested to see that too after seeing David Tennant and Carrie-Anne Moss being added to the cast.
Yeah.
So that's cool. Luke Cage will probably come soon then too. Yep. And then you'll have their Defenders miniseries. They're going to follow all that up with. Yeah. So.
It's like this whole separate little world, but still part of the same universe.
Yep, exactly.
It's just real cool. And then just staying on the Netflix topic, apparently there's rumors that Netflix is developing a Legend of the Zelda
Legend of the Zelda.
Legend of the Zelda. Legend of Zelda.
Legend of Zelda.
Legend of Zelda.
Yeah, no, I saw that. That one's cool. They're working super closely with Nintendo.
That's unreal.
Yeah. Well, there's been no
No,
Nintendo stuff
other than a cartoon
in like 87.
late 80s.
Well, there's the Super Mario Adventure Hour with
Right.
Captain Lou Albano,
Yep.
and then the awful '93 Super Mario Brothers movie that just killed all Nintendo properties.
Back to John Leguizamo.
Yep, John Leguizamo and poor Bob Hoskins,
Yeah.
Dennis Hopper as Bowser.
Yeah, that's a paycheck.
Yeah, who played? I can't remember who played Princess Peach.
No,
I can't remember. I gotta look it up.
But,
I mean, somebody relatively famous.
Legend of Zelda has been a fan favorite for over 30 years, and to finally see something, a live action iteration of it, is unreal.
No, yeah, you're right.
And you hope, it won't be the same level, but it's the same kind of faithfulness that Lord of the Rings took.
Yeah.
Can you be that faithful to the source material?
The lady you played. Oh, it was Princess Daisy. It wasn't even Princess
No,
Peach.
it was, yeah.
It was nobody. But no, yeah, you're right. It was, they hopefully should keep very faithful to the story. Well, and you can kind of, there's no, what's nice is there's no specific story you have to follow. Because you can just have Link and Zelda.
Well,
and
Link has to gather the Triforce and rescue Zelda from Ganon.
But that's it.
That's it.
There's been so many different other story, Legend of Zelda games that they're different stories every time.
Right, from your Link to the Past to your Wind Waker to your what it was
Twilight Princess and all the different ones.
I've never been
Skyward Sword.
I've never been a Legend of Zelda fan.
No.
I've played the very first one on the NES.
Yeah.
I've never played another one.
I have Wind Waker HD I got for Wii. Because that one was really cool. That was the all cell shaded one for Wii. Well, I got it for Wii U, the HD version. That game looks really pretty. And it's a fun game. It's just like all the rest of the Zelda. I've always liked them. I've never been a huge fan, but I really liked them, and I've had a bunch of them. Link to the Past for Super Nintendo was my favorite one. They actually had a direct sequel to that last year on Game Boy.
Yes.
Game Boy 3DS.
Yes, I remember.
It was I can't remember what the fuck it was called anymore.
Link to the Past 2?
No, it wasn't called Link to the Past 2. I don't remember what the hell the name was, but it was a direct sequel to Link to the Past, and it was really cool. It was a really good game. I have a 3DS. I don't play it hardly at all. But no, that's exciting because, you could do pretty much anything as long as it's Link. But it's like, do you do them as adults? Do you do them as teenagers?
You have to do them as...
Because Link's always kind of been a kid.
Yeah, you have to do it. You have to be like late teen, early adult.
You don't want like a grizzled Link, because Link.
No.
Generally the story, every Zelda game seems to be Link starting out from the beginning. Like they kind of restart every time. It's Link. He learns he gets the sword, he gets the shield, he learns how to use them, and then he goes off on the quest to do something. Right. Either save the princess, or Zelda, or get the Triforce and find all the different pieces and fight Ganon. They call him Ganon. Do they use his full name, Ganondorf? I don't know. But
Ganondorf?
I saw that in one of the games.
Really?
Yeah.
Sounds like a bad joke.
I saw that one thing one time. But no, it's like... so they can pretty much do whatever they wanted to do. So
It'll again, with a lot of this stuff, with the way licensed properties are being handled in TV and movies nowadays, it's the right time to try to do something like this, and you hope for the best.
Yeah.
Especially with Netflix. Netflix is proving themselves to be willing to put the money and the effort into it.
Yep.
You hope for the best. But you hope you don't get a John Carter of Mars out of it.
I'm trying to figure out if any of the games he was actually referred to as Ganondorf. It is his legit full name, by the way.
don't believe you. That's
Wikipedia.
Wikipedia can be edited.
Gannon, spelled Ganon, spelled Gannon in early materials, and also known as Ganondorf.
So, in other words, he's Steven Dorff's
No,
brother.
Ganondorf is one word, one name.
So, Steven Dorff.
Ganon is like a nick short for Ganondorf. But no, yeah, that could be very cool. And of all the people to do it, Netflix would be great because it's not like they don't have to worry about ratings,
Right.
and they don't have to worry. They can take their time. They don't have to worry about rushing to meet a pilot date.
Well,
You know, it's like,
and what Marco Polo has proven that they're willing to spend money.
yeah,
you
Marco
know?
Polo.
And House of Cards has proven that they can produce good stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Award-winning material.
Well, what's funny is it started. It's a remake of an old British show.
What is
House of Cards?
Oh, is it?
You know that?
I did not know that.
Yes.
Hey, it's something British that Jason knew about.
No fucking way.
Wow, you know what that is? That is continuity there, folks.
No, it was a British series from like '93 or something called House of Cards, except it took place in like British Parliament.
Ah.
Same relative basic principle, but I think it ran for only. It might have ran for 2 seasons or something, and that was it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but yeah, Netflix adapted that for this one, and it clearly surpassed the original in popularity.
Just a bit.
So yeah, that premieres I think February 21st, season 3. I'm excited. I plan on staying up for like 12 hours straight and watching that because that is an awesome fucking show. And
I've not watched it.
no,
Nope.
Oh, Kevin Spacey breaks the fourth wall in that,
Mm-hmm.
and it is amazing every time. Like the best one is there's one episode, and I don't remember if it was the first or second season, where I think it was the second season where he goes the whole episode. They go the whole without doing it,
Okay.
and it's one of those things where like he does it all the time. So all of a sudden when he's not doing it, you're like, wait a minute, did they take this out? Did they redo the show?
Right.
You know? And at the very end of the episode, he looks over at the camera and goes, "Oh, you thought I forgot about you, didn't you?" I didn't forget. I knew you were there the whole time. I didn't want to forget about you. I was just busy doing all this other stuff for a little while. It was like, oh my God, that's awesome. But it's perfect when he does it, you know, because it's right in context with all the scenes. It's how they film it, because he does it right along, like where in reality it would be like an inner monologue thing,
Right?
where, like he's in the middle of talking, like me and you were talking, and I would just stop and look at the camera and talk. Now listen here, Chris is about to tell me all about this and what he thinks about this show. Now watch and listen. And then you would go and proceed and tell me all about the show. And then when you're done, you'd look back over the camera and give like a little wink. Go,
Like, told you so.
told you. Yeah, wouldn't even say anything. He would just kind of look back over the camera and just go, roll his eyes, you know. And it is awesome every time he does it. You know, when he's sitting in like a Congress session, and he's just annoyed and bored, and he just looks over at the camera and just rolls his eyes, you know. But he's awesome. He goes home and he sits at home and he plays like fucking Call of Duty on Xbox 360
Really?
to unwind. Yeah, he plays first-person shooters. That's what he does.
That's
he sits home and
awesome.
he plays video games. Like when he, spoiler alert, gets quote unquote promoted, but I think he goes to. I'm not even going to say because you should watch the show, but he moves up in the second season. He gains more Secret Service protection and whatever, and they cut his internet so he can't play on Xbox Live, and he gets mad. So because he can't play his game. So he like goes outside to sit and do nothing, like because he's got nothing to do. They took his cell phone. He can't play on Xbox Live, and he's sitting outside like smoking and having a drink, and he's bored.
That's awesome.
You know, but it's great because he's like this traditional Southern, you know, congressman, just sleaziest fucking politician there is, and it's awesome to watch. Because yeah, he is in no way a good guy at all. You know, he's up there with like Walter White as far as bad guys that are very likable. But yeah, Frank Underwood. But yeah, no, I'm excited for House of Cards. And then Game of Thrones comes back in April then too.
I'm a couple seasons behind on Game of Thrones, but I'm up to date on the books.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, so.
Did you see the sad news about that this past week or so?
There will be no Game of Thrones book in 2015?
Yeah, so the show will officially end before the books do.
That's just wrong.
Yeah, but
it's wrong.
We'll blame fucking George R.R. Martin.
So you know what it's going to be, though, is that last fucking season, or wherever it eclipsed the books, all the fans of the books
are going to stop watching
are going to stop watching.
Yeah.
So whatever let's say that last season.
Well, they said it's going to run through 2017.
Mm-hmm.
So right now, and you see the other problem is, I guess books 4 and 5, there's just not a lot of story to make into a show. Mm. So that's the problem, is there's not enough story out of those books. So they're already pushing into what's going to be like the 5th book now with the 5th season.
Right.
You know, and so they're going to run through 2017. So they'll have this season, then next year they'll have season 6, and then 2017 they'll have season 7. He might not even have book 6 done.
Yeah.
So, but as part of the deal for doing the show, they know the whole story.
Right.
And they know the end. So they're going to be able to keep doing the show, and it'll be fine. But yes, it's going to surpass the books, which is like the first time that's ever going to happen.
But there's going to be half of your audience.
Yeah, possibly. Who knows?
But I mean, potentially half of your audience is either one going to stop watching because they want to read it.
Yeah.
Or two, those last 1 or 2 books, sales are going to drop off because we already know the story.
Yep. It's a lose-lose.
It is a lose-lose for George R.R. Martin.
Yeah. But he doesn't give a shit.
No.
Yeah. And I think the other fucked up part was he had like some off comment, I might write more books. And everybody, what? Fuck, man. Win. You're old as shit and you're barely writing now because, well, he's writing, but he's writing fucking 1,500-page things. It's insane. He's writing books that are 3 or 4 times longer than most other people's books. And more power to him. It's his thing. He can do whatever the fuck he wants.
Oh, right.
But, come on, man.
Well, I mean, you know what happened to the Wheel of Time series, where whoever the fuck...
Robert Jordan.
Yeah, he died before he finished it.
Yep.
It's like, and that's what that gets remembered for.
Yeah.
Not how great of a series it was, or how fantastic the story was, but the author died before he could finish it. Yeah. And I think his son or something.
It's never as good.
Finished up, but it's not the same.
It's not the same. I had my favorite. What are we at?
120.
Okay, my favorite book series was by author Roger Zelazny, who's not hugely known, and it's very sad. But he died in like 1990 or something like that. He did a book series called The Chronicles of Amber.
Oh, you told me about
it was 10 books, and they were awesome. He did like the first 5 books as a series in like the late 70s, early 80s. Waited several years, and then decided, you know what, I'm going to write some more. So he wrote 5 more books based on the son of the main character of the first one. The main character that he was worked in, same world, everything, but the son was the protagonist of the latter half of the series. And it was still really good. I mean, it wasn't quite as good as the first one. It was 1A to the 1 of that one, but it was still really good stuff. And he finished it. He had the opportunity to finish it. He finished it. And then a couple of years after that, maybe 3, 4, 5 years after that, he died. Mm-hmm. Part of his wish was that no one ever be allowed to write in his universe.
Sure.
Ever again. That didn't hold up.
Family sold the rights?
Mid-2000s, they allowed another author, a fairly well-known sci-fi author, John Gregory Betancourt, to write books, basically prequel stories.
Okay.
Based on the main characters in the first series, like his dad. And they suck. I got the first 3 books. The 4th one was canceled before it came out because the books were so poor, sales were so poor. And so it's like, I got an okay story that I only got 3/4 of now. Yeah. And it's like the books never should have been made, but it's like, God damn it.
Well, I mean, it's part of the same thing that happened with all these Star Wars Expanded Universe books, all that fiction. Some of them were good. Most of them sucked.
Yeah. But the worst one of all forever was Barbara Hambley's. Twilight? Planet of the Twilight?
Planet of Twilight and Children of the Jedi.
Yeah, but Planet of the Twilight was the one for me that literally ended my reading of Expanded Universe books. When they first were big in like the late 90s, early 2000s, I was part of, I think, the Sci-Fi Book Club, and I would get them all. I have a huge amount of them for a couple of years, good 2-3 years. I got like every one. And when I finally got to reading that one, it was awful.
Yep.
I think I tried to read it. I got maybe through the first chapter 3-4 times, and I couldn't do it. That I literally never read another Star Wars book because of that. Because I'm like, this is shit.
Yep.
It was complete garbage.
Yep.
I couldn't read it. She was the worst fucking author.
I mean, the reality is, if you go back and you look at the majority of the Expanded Universe novels, majority of them suck.
Oh, yeah. The only ones I loved were...
the original three.
Well, the original three, Timothy Zahn, the Heir to the Empire trilogy. I forget what it was.
I
can't remember the names of them anymore.
Yeah,
but it was Heir to the Empire.
Heir to the Empire, Dark Force Rising, and The Last Command.
Yeah, that sounds right.
The Thrawn trilogy, that's what it is.
Yeah. And that, I like the X-Wing Rogue Squadron.
Oh, the X-Wing books by Stackpole and Alston.
So Rogue Squadron with Wedge as the main character. Yeah. I have every one of those. Yep. I love those books.
I do
those
too.
Were great. I actually had to get a new copy of the first one because my copy of the first book was just worn down from me and my friend passing it back and forth.
Yep, I've got all those. Those are both those are fantastic.
Yeah.
I Jedi was pretty good. Was good.
I'm not sure if I have.
And then, but the rest of them are hit and miss.
Yeah. Yeah, those. I have not read any sci-fi books in so long.
No, I haven't either.
One of the series I really liked. Remember the video games Wing Commander?
Yes, I got those books.
The book series, you have all of them.
Yep, I got those
from Mercedes Lackey and William R. Forstchen.
Yes.
Yeah, I could go get them.
I'm gonna nod my head and agree with you.
I loved those books.
Those are great.
The Wing Commander books. There ended up being like 6 of them.
Yeah, those are all really good.
I love the Wing Commander books. But that was it for years. And I think the only other book series I've read, I read all the Harry Potter books. Those were great.
I read all of those as well.
The only other book series out of it, just total randomness, I own and read all the Left Behind books.
Really?
Yes, I have every one of them, and I read them all. I never got the... they released a couple prequel-sequel books, like a series of 3. One was like a prequel, and I think the other 2 were sequel or whatever. But the first 15 books, I have all of them.
Really?
And I've read them all. It was interesting.
Huh.
I am not a godly person or a Christian person at all. Nor have I never attended church on purpose outside of baptism and weddings and stuff, funerals. But it was really interesting reading. It was a really interesting story. I had to get past the writing style was a little weird.
Okay.
Some of the writing style a little bit was just a little hokey because it's written by a fucking priest and like a Christian professor or something like that. So there's no swearing.
Right.
It's just, if you read them, you'd understand. It's hard to verbalize the difference, between reading, the Star Wars books, or Stephen King book, or even the Harry Potter books, and then reading these. It's clearly, you can tell who the kind of person is writing the book. Just the way they write things and the way they talk about things is different. It's like talking to a priest. Gotcha. I have a cousin who's a priest, and he's 60 something, but it would be having. My parents were very late kids.
Gotcha.
But no, it's Father Greg. Father Gregory Serwa. He's a Palatine priest. Father St. Vincent Pilati. But I've had conversations with him a million times in my life, from little kid to whatever, and it would be like listening to a story he's telling me.
Sure.
It just
talks a certain way.
It talks a certain way. It's just It is what it is. So these books are written by people like that. But it's just the interesting story of the end of the world. Sure. You know, and they stretched it out for like I said, like 13 books or something. But all of them are good. Wow. And it's just, it's an amazing story that it kicks off with the rapture, you know, and then everything that happens, you know, because it's all done realistically. Like, when part of it's funny, I think the main characters are from like Illinois, so they reference Wisconsin and Milwaukee quite a bit, especially early on. But so you have the main character, Rayford Steele. You know, one of the other main characters, him and his daughter survive the rapture, and like she gets a boyfriend, this intrepid reporter. Buck.
Really? The rapture takes place, and the father still has to worry about his daughter dating.
Yes, but
he went to hell.
Yeah, well, he didn't go because he wasn't sure of his faith. But his wife went to church every Sunday, and their newborn child and her were gone. You know, and so anyway, the United States, the disappearances of the world. You know, nobody quite knows exactly what happened, and it's the reality of what goes on. Well, in the meantime, the bad guy in the series, the Antichrist, his name is Nikolai Carpathia. Now, if you had to name a bad guy, and had to pick who the bad guy might be out of this story, Rayford Steele or Nikolai Carpathia?
Isn't that where Vigo's from?
Yeah.
Is he a Carpathian?
Something like that, yeah. So, and this guy, he comes out of some Eastern European country. I can't even remember which one. I have the top of my head anymore. But he becomes like a senator, okay? All right. And then he rises to power and becomes like the president of that country. Okay. And then he gets them into like membership of the UN. And then he eventually becomes like the secretary of the UN. And at that point, and throughout this whole time, the world's governments are trying to figure out what to do because all these people are gone, and all this biblical stuff is happening, and he becomes secretary of the UN, and he convinces.
So he types really well.
Yes. Sorry. He convinces all the world governments to like disband all their weapons and give them to United Nations to set up like a one world government. And after every major nation has like basically disarmed themselves, he declares himself potentate and ruler of the world, essentially. Sure. But it all follows along with what happens in the Bible, and he starts setting up different nations for different, like you're going to be the food nation for the world, and you're going to be this nation. And if you go back along with the biblical story, there's going to be all these tracts of land are going to be for this, and it all kind of follows along. So everybody's kind of like nobody knows what's happening. Everybody just kind of goes along with it until it's too late. It's kind of what happens. You don't really know what's happening until it's far too late. They develop like a registration system for monetary purposes, and includes you get like a barcoded like tattoo on your hand to use for payment for stuff, the mark of the beast. So the people, basically the rebels, and it becomes illegal to not get that. Okay. So now you've got like your biblical people, your God following religious people won't get it. Well, there's people being executed for not receiving it, and so these people are in hiding and whatnot, and it goes on and on.
Really?
And it eventually ends with Jesus' return and the Antichrist being set to hell, and the 1,000-year
reign. Is her name Sarah Connor?
No. And the 1,000-year reign on earth begins, and it's the story of the Bible and the whole thing. And it was really interesting to read the quote unquote reality of what was happening in the world for those years, the 7 years of hell on earth. Sure. Because that's what happens. It's 7 years it takes to get to those. And all these religious people know they just have to make it. And at the same time, they know there's the stories of, 144,000, people will be left. The Jews think X number of, people are going to be allowed, but in reality, they're not going to be because they're Jewish. It's kind of like, it's a Christian book, but, they have their own beliefs. But in Christianity, they know 144,000 people are all that's going to be left at the end.
Okay.
At the end of the 7 years, that's all that's going to be left. So all these people are, some of them, it's like, you know, they want to die and go to heaven, but the rules state that if you were not allowed into heaven when the rapture happened, you're not going to go to heaven if you die during the 7-year tribulation.
Really?
Because your heart was hardened towards God, and nothing you do now can save you. Your only hope is to live to the end. You know, so if you die in the meantime, you're going to hell. Doesn't matter. No matter what, no matter what you do after the rapture happened, you're going to hell if you don't live to the end. So it's interesting.
Wow.
You know? But yeah, it was a really weird book series. It was cool. I enjoyed reading it, you know, as just fiction.
Sure.
You know, it's like every time I had to go pick up the books, I think I got them all from like Half Price Books, whatever. Going to the Christian fiction section, you know, I always felt weird going there. You know, it's just not my place. You know, but yeah, I guess I've got them all on the bookshelf. So yeah, that off the wall book series for me that I've read.
And so completes the literary nook of that damn thing. All right. We started with Bleached Balls.
And ended with Christian fiction and rapture.
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the type of entertainment that you will receive. The width and breadth of the topics that will be discussed on that damn thing.
Yeah.
So please
donate to our Kickstarter. If you want to listen to this kind of thing in better quality sound.
Yeah.
High quality, clear vocal audio entertainment. Ear candy, if you will.
How much is ear candy worth to you?
At least $300.
Jason, I was speaking to our audience.
I was just letting the audience know.
Jason, how much would you pay for entertainment of this kind in crystal clear surround sound or some other various
surround sound? You're clearly overestimating my audio capabilities.
Okay, in some form of
stereo sound.
Did this shelf get you again?
It did in the back this time.
Wow,
Son of a
man,
bitch.
your hobby is rebelling against you.
Fuck you, shelf.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is continuity as well. If you will go back and listen to the previous episodes of that damn thing, you will find that Jason has done this repeatedly. And maybe one day we will post a picture of this violent shelf that seems to repeatedly attack him again and again.
Once per episode. I injured myself on my... Oh no, slide my chair forward. Rip the cord out of the wall here.
All right. On that note, I think that is a good place to end this episode.
Yes, I think it is.
Episode 6.
Episode 6, the search for episode 5, now over.